to meet you. I'm going to try not to fangirl. I'm going to try to be professional.
Oh yeah, my dad loves you guys. So
let's start at a little early in the game. You found the birdcage idol. How did that feel? Were you like, oh my God, I'm running this game. Let's go.
No, I wasn't like, oh, I'm a boss bitch. No, okay. I can't say that word. Okay. No, it was like, yeah, I was so proud and happy. Like, I was like, this is, I know me time, like, I dreamed of that. And like, we have these in Minnesota, like, have you heard of medallion hunting? Like, it's these things. Okay. So I go and I search for these medallions. It's just like searching for an idol. And I'm like, I'm going to find this. There's like a big team in Minnesota. And I remember asking them, like, I want to be on your team. And they like rejected me from their team. And like, they're very serious. There's like these medallion hunting is like a thing in Minnesota. And I remember like writing them and I'm like, can I join your team? And they're like, no, we're full. And I remember like, I'm like, I'm going to get, when I got picked to go on, I'm like, I'm going to find an idol. And then those assholes who rejected me, I'm going to like, look at me now. So it was, that's what I thought of when I was out there. I'm like, you rejected me from that idol hunting crew. Anyway, like it was awesome. Like, and that's what I thought, because I do that in my real life. I mean, I search for the medallions. So it was like, I used that same, like, because I'm looking everywhere. It's amazing, like finding an idol on Survivor. Like, I can vote me out after that. I'm good. It was amazing. I felt awesome. Like and nobody suspected it. They didn't. It was just, and it like even hearing people like, oh, I think this person, oh, Helen has it. Or like, nobody was like, oh. I loved it. It was so fun, but it's also so nerve-wracking because you have this stupid thing that you're like lugging around, and it's like every second you're like, oh gosh, where is it? Where is it? And you don't leave it here. And it's a lot of anxiety in that regard too. But I loved it. Like I felt like on top of the world. Like how could I not?
I bet. Your instincts were phenomenal. They seem to be correct. How did you differentiate that though from paranoia?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, it's great. I don't know. Like even watching that first tribal, like how terrified. That's all real. I was terrified, but I would always say like I have like ow, my neck. Sorry. I would have this thing where I would say I'm trusting my heart and I'm trusting my gut, and it's just like a feeling that I got. I still was super, super paranoid and scared. Like that's why you see me like up until like that very minute. I'm like, okay, what should I do? What should I do? Oh, but especially that first vote, it was like the first Sika vote where Helen went, it was like that first tribal. It was like this thing went off in my head where I'm like, no, like, don't play it. Trust your heart, like, trust your gut. Like, it was I can't even describe it. It was like a feeling. And I'm like, I need this idol. What the heck? Like, I'm not going to play it right now. Just go with it, go with it, go with it. Because again, it's like I play that, then I'm screwed because I go back and then I have they'll be like, wait, what? Like it was too early on in the game and it was like, just trust this. But you know how hard that was, like because I like believed, like, I'm like, why would Carson go with me over him? And like, it was just a gut thing, a heart thing. I don't even, it's the truth. But I was still paranoid. I wasn't able to separate. Like I was a paranoid, trusting my heart and gut. I was paranoid as heck. Yeah.
You talked a lot about being yourself through this whole experience. And turns out you are beloved. You are a fan favorite. How has it been just getting this fan reaction?
It's overwhelming because like, I'm the type who, I don't think I'm like better than anyone else or even like different as far as like, I'm just a random fan who like, I didn't get on the first time. Like I was bugging casting, like, oh my God. Call me back. Like the day that they had reached out or contact me back, like I was about to send another like, hey, I'm here. Like I was annoying. So it was just this like the response that I've gotten from people, like I didn't expect it. Like and it's hard because it's like I want to be able to like respond to everybody and every message and I go to bed each night and I literally have this like sadness of like I just want to be because I'm like I never wanted to like feel like I just wanted to be able to like reach out to everybody and be able to respond because it means so much, because that was me and I was here, you inspired me so much, like reaching out to players. So I wanted to be like the one who could write everybody back and I can't, and it breaks my heart. I'm not.
We're going to let everyone know you'll get back to them eventually. You just have a lot of people reaching out.
Sorry, it sucks.
Well, how was it though for yourself watching yourself? I mean, you were a huge part of the edit. One of my favorite things is the music merging into your screams. I mean, like these little things, how is it for you to see yourself on TV?
Oh, it's been awesome. And I don't like, there's not like, oh, and I wish I wouldn't have done that. And I wish I would. I look at myself, like even picking my nose. I started laughing, like, why did I do that? Or even like my face is like, everyone says that I'm very expressive and I'm very aware of that. But I really I didn't know I licked my lips that much. No one tells me. So like, just those little things that like, I'm not on TV. Like, I don't know. I'm not recording myself. So watching it back, like, I loved it. I was laughing, like, and the beautiful thing is like people that know me are like, oh, that's Carolyn. So it was awesome. Like, it was like, I'm just being me. And there was nothing where I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I pick my nose? Or why did I say that to Jam about like burping my face? Like, that's so weird. But it just shows like I just didn't care. I had no filter, and it's refreshing because it's super like it is exhausting, and it's like that is more anxiety for me to like have to like put on, like to have to cover myself up. That to me is the real problem. I wouldn't be able to do that. And I wanted to be able to play the game as myself, show myself that like there's no one way to play. Like,
we got to see how smart and strategic you actually were, but obviously people were not seeing that in the game. You were being underestimated, but it kept you safe. Were you aware that you kind of had to run with it to keep your threat level down?
absolutely. I wanted people, like, that's the thing I wanted. And for a long time, I'd be like, oh yeah. And me and Jam would do this together sometimes where we'd be like, oh no, we're just going to go off and like, we're having fun. That was like my thing. Like, I want people to just think like, I'm having fun. I'm going swimming. Let's go on a boat ride. Like, that's what I wanted. But then I'm not kidding. Like, it became like so hard that like, how do you flip that into like people taking you seriously? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that's my strategy. But then it started to mess with me where it was like, okay, well, Carolyn, no wonder like people look at you like that. Or like I'm used to people kind of like, oh, what did you say? But being that like, it's just ironic, like, well, that's my strategy. And then like, it just kind of like it broke me down a little bit too, because it's like, almost like I forgot, like, you are doing this, like, that. So, but it's like, then people's reactions to me sometimes just kind of mess me up. Does that make sense? Like, it's because the fight, like, even I think of the merge or before the merge and the journey thing with Danny, because that was like one of the first things where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I want people to underestimate me. Of course, that's like the point of the game. Like, you want people to not think you're a threat. But okay, this is how I'll say it. But it felt, some of the interactions with people felt so disrespectful that it wore on me as a human, where it's like, no, this isn't game. Like, they literally are not even listening to me. They are not respecting me as a human. So that's where it started to mess with me. It wasn't like, okay, this is a game thing where they're like, no, I was like, that's where it messed with me. And then I would be like, no, keep fighting. But then I would see like the look sometimes, and it's like, no, this freaking hurts. It hurts. So it's hard. It's hard to do this. It's hard to play as yourself and then like get that, like, and again, I'm not saying like, oh, everyone was so mean to me. It's not that. It was those moments, and especially the journey was like that big one for me where I'm like, oh my gosh, like they are, because that was horrible. But I don't want to be mean and like, but it sucked.
We saw it. It did that self-doubt go into Final Tribal. I mean, were you underestimated to the very end?
It started to creep in where I felt like I believed in myself, and I was talking myself up the whole game. I say this in my pregame like stuff, like, I am not going to talk bad about myself. And I would do that. But then again, it was like, then I would like see a look, or I would see again, something that I'm used to is like, but it just started to wear at me, starting with that journey where it's like, okay, there's game and then there's personal. And this feels really like that they just don't respect me as a person. Does that make sense? So it hurt. So going in, it was like, I knew that like, I am going to have to try a lot here. But part of me felt like, it don't matter what comes out of my mouth. Like these people just aren't like, it's coming from me. Not that would make me like want to give up or something, but it really messed with me. Like, in my delivery. So it's all right. Like,
yeah, well, it messed with me. I'm mad you got 0 votes, but I'm so grateful we got to watch you. I'm so grateful you made it all the way to the end, and I'm so grateful for your time today, Carolyn.
oh, that's it. Oh yeah, I'm like actually keeping on track.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Bye.